Hi everybody, Tessa here from Conscious Travel Community. I've seen some posts about people wondering about car hire for the UK, so I wanted to share a hack that we've been using for a few years now. So everyone's really aware of Skyscanner for flights. So I'm just on the main screen here, and you can see where it's got the flight tab. There's also a tab for car hire. If you click on the tab, you'll be able to search all around the world for different car hire companies. So I'm going to use my example of London. So there's a few different things you can do. If I search London down here, we can see that London as a city is a search option. A few things to keep in mind when hiring a car from central London is that there is a low emissions tax. There's also a lot of traffic, and you need to add at least an hour, usually an hour and a half, to your travel time. So it is an option, but we actually prefer to hire cars from outside of London, usually from an airport. And it just means that we don't have to pay the low emissions tax, and it actually reduces the time of our travel because we can get a train to one of the stations and then be on our way from there. So depending on where you're going, look on Google Maps to see what the closer airport is, but also have a play around with these options that I'll go through now. So for me personally, Stansted's super easy for me to get to, so I'm going to use that as an example. There's also here you can return to a different location. Depending on your situation, what airport is closer to you, or if you're really trying to save money, you can have a play around with returning to a different location. One time we hired a car just for one day, picking up from Gatwick and returning to Stansted, and the car hire ended up being £1 for the day. So have a play around with that. Also, if you're below 25, you'll need to untick that one there. So I'm going to go a little bit in advance because if you book your car in advance, it will give you a discounted rate. So let's have a look, maybe September, and I'll just do like a weekend trip, say if I was going away for the weekend. So when you pick up a car hire, it goes on a 24-hour policy, so 24 hours for one day. So say if I was to pick it up at 5 o'clock, I'll need to return it by 5 o'clock. If I selected 5:30 or 6 p.m. as the drop-off time, it will then actually charge you for an extra day. So just keep that in mind when you're searching. And I'm just going to do for 2 days for this one. So once we hit search, it's going to search a variety of different car hire companies, and it's going to bring up the prices for me, just like it would with Skyscanner for flights. So it will come up with the smaller cars first and then get into the economy, the compact, the intermediate, and then even if you were confident driving like a 7-seater. So this is the price for 2 days. A mini is fine if it's just 2 or 3 people, but if it's any more than that, you probably want to go something a little bit bigger. And really the price difference is not that much at all. Things you want to consider when you're searching is usually if I'm driving in the UK, I will get unlimited mileage just so I don't have to worry about the kilometres. Another thing I like to look at is the fuel consumption. So a lot of the cars are same to same fuel. So you pick it up, say if it's on half, you need to return it on half. I usually like to get a car company that does full to full. So you pick it up on full, return it on full, so you don't need to worry about that either. All these options are just down the sides here. So you've got your car options, and then there's unlimited mileage and the fuel there. If you drive automatic or manual, or if you have a preference, you can change it there. And another thing to consider if it's from an airport is the airport terminal. So some car companies, especially at Heathrow because it's so big, will use a shuttle bus to transport you from the airport to the car hire company. So that's something to keep in mind if you've got the time to factor that in. But if not, you can actually choose to pick up one that's at the terminal just to save time. They usually are a little bit more expensive, so it just depends on your preferences. So this mini is coming in at £61, which is like £30 a day. If I select that, and it does tell you here it's manual, so as long as you're okay with that, it will take you to the different companies that use that. So you might have heard of some of the companies, like Avis might come up here, Europe Car, so on. So if there's a trusted company you'd prefer to go with, you can select that, or if you're happy with to go with the cheapest one. And then you can also look at the pickup and the fuel consumption, that sort of thing. Once I've chosen my car, it will direct me to their website directly where you can book. Most car companies do have a 24-hour cancellation, which means up to the date where you leave, you can cancel it and get a 100% refund. So that's always good if you're not 100% committed to something. If it's a good price, you can just book it and cancel it within a week or 2 weeks. As long as it's 24 hours before you're set to go, you'll get a 100% refund. So let's have a look at this car. 4 seats, 3 doors, so a little bit tricky for someone in the back, but if there's only one person, it's fine. It's a manual. Here it's got the free cancellation. If I hover over that, it usually gives me a bit more information. So free cancellation up to 48 hours. So I was leaving on a Friday. I need to cancel it 48 hours before the pickup to get that full refund. It's got the unlimited mileage that I was talking about. And this one is a shuttle from the airport. It's got the address on there. And sometimes it's even quicker just to get an Uber from the airport, but completely up to you. And it's got the full to full fuel consumption. And it's coming in at £60. It's got the pay now price of £4 to reserve it. And then usually you pay the rest there, or sometimes it comes out 24 hours or 40 hours before it's due to check in. It just depends on the policy. They're all a little bit different. So you will need to have a read through that individual policy and have a look. There's also some other options here as we scroll down. You'll always have the option to add extra insurance, and that so it also depends on what travel insurance you have. We have Amex travel insurance, so it actually covers us for car hire, but completely up to you. You can also add that on as an extra, and you can do that also when you go in to pick up the car and add that on as an extra. So there's a few options here that you can have a look through and make a decision, and then you go on to the payment. If you've got any questions about car hire or anything, please drop them below. I'll be happy to answer them. But this is a really great way to do a day or a weekend getaway. Happy travels, everybody.